Hello again, it's been a little bit and I have no excuse for my unexplained absence then. I was feeling a bit uninspired and sometimes you just need a break. Then I saw a movie that hit me right in my arcade-dwelling heart, Wreck-It Ralph. I feel like that movie was made for me and I don't know why I didn't see it until recently. Now that the summer is winding down, I'm preparing for it with another season. The production values have gone up since the past, and it's a bit more time-consuming. I'm gonna say this show will be monthly now, or possibly tri-weekly, once the winter is in full freezing force. I also have other projects I'm doing these days. For example, those new 3DS Street Pass games are very fucking addictive. Arcade Recall, relaunched, restarted, rewired, and refunded. Wait, no refunds. What to begin this season with? Let's go big with Street Fighter 2. No, not Street Fighter. I never played it and I didn't intend to. This was not an invitation to tell me, you should play it. It's a great game. You'll probably be one of those annoying gamers that thought Marvel vs. Capcom 2 had a good soundtrack. Mike, if you love Darkstalkers, you gotta love Street Fighter 2, right? I love Street Fighter 2. I loved the slow fighting, I loved the no fatalities, I loved the 4 or 5 expansions until I didn't, which was pretty early on. Sorry everybody, I'm not going to tear this game a new one, I just didn't like it. It just didn't look interesting to me when I would go to my nearest 7-Eleven arcade or otherwise. By the way, that 7-Eleven also had Mortal Kombat 2 right next to it, which was more interesting to me. Can't explain why. See Arcade Recall, Mortal Kombat 2. One thing that got me not liking the game immediately was the fact that 1 quarter wasn't enough anymore. I believe this was the first game I ever played that took 2 from me. It may not have been the first to implement this, but it was the first one I encountered. $5 only went half as far now, which was a lot for a poor kid. Thanks Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat, of course, soon followed suit. I guess the game was simple, which was what usually interests me the most when it comes to, anything. You select a fighter and fight the other fighter until the fight is over. There were 8 of them plus 4 bosses and they all had supernatural powers, yet no one was pursuing them for it. I bet the X-Men mutants would have loved to live in this world. But Mike, it had an awesome combo system. Oh, you mean the system the developers found by accident. It was seriously a bug. I'm not going to call an accident some feat of genius. It just happened. There was this time I had sciatica. Then I tried water skiing, pulled my hamstring, and hurt like crazy for a week, but now the sciatica is gone. You don't see me preaching about the fact that I cured sciatica, do you? It basically is the same thing. But the system was perfected more later. I will give you that. Some of the things I liked were what I liked, but they weren't enough to sell me on the game more often than not. The music was great when you could hear it. Were 50 cents? No. The backgrounds had a degree of depth to them and were fun to look at. Could you do this while someone else was playing? Yeah, in fact that made it easier to make out what was going on. The fighters weren't too interesting in my book. Guile was my usual, but he didn't do much to keep me playing past, say, 1 game. I just did not have fun playing this game. We are all entitled to our opinion. One of my friends said the same thing about Killer Instinct. I'm not saying anything bad happened to him after that, but I'm not saying that either. Also, let me annoy the Street Fighter 2 audience even further. I liked SNK better. I liked at least 5 of their fighters more than Street Fighter 2. Am I done? Does it deserve a quarter? Yes, it does. Even if it wants 2 from you, you may like it. It's not like you haven't heard of it, but then again, history is lost on today's youth. They probably think Street Fighter 4 was the first game in the series. Gamer burn! Toasty! No, I'm not gonna go through every expansion. This is a Capcom flaw that still goes on today. I say, make the game. If you screwed it up somehow or can think of a way to make it better, save it for the next one. Capcom, of course, is not a fan of this. Let's just add a word like Super Ultra Hyper Champion Edition Volume 8 or something to the title and sell it again. Stop this! Remember Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2? No expansions! Besides, if I went through all of that, this episode would go too long, and this game hasn't earned that from me. In fact, I'm still pissed I basically bought it twice for the Super Nintendo. Usually, I would display what systems this is on, but in this case I'd have to include every version and what systems they were on too. Here, a form of Street Fighter 2 is available on any of the following systems. Solve that. Even 3DO had a version? Huh. Well, it's a good way to start the second season. I'm pretty sure I just lost all of my subscribers and many more who were possibly considering. Look, I'm just a guy who makes a show about arcade games. It's not a personal attack. Street Fighter 2 isn't your child, and don't get angry at me as though it is. The majority likes this one, but I don't, and I'm not alone in how I feel about this, and I have the means to voice my opinion. Holy shit, I think I just summed up American politics. I promised 10 sequels in a row, and I got to them. Now I can review any arcade game again. In fact, go ahead and comment and leave me your favorite arcade game. I may do yours next. 20 episodes, that's a milestone, right? But here's to another round of arcadey recallings. What was my ending phrase again? Arcade fast, let's make it last? That can't be it. Arcade fast, let's have a gas? No. Our dream cast got laughed last? That's not it. Crud.